it's one of our better screening plants. I recently planted some to screen out some houses I didn't want to see. That tree is just really thirsty and needs water. And loquats really are a good indicator. When they start dropping a lot of leaves, they're thirsty as well. But those leaves go yellow first, so the yellow is really your indicator.
Would you decide to test regardless of the type of tree, even like
Any kind. That's how you learn your soil. And if it's a woody tree, it's got the kind of root system we're talking about. You need to get the soil moist 5 inches down to really help it. Consistent. And then, hopefully not let it get too dry. You all, yes sir?
You ever talk about suckers? I got a live oak that's just a terrible problem with suckers, especially with
Well, some of them do that. Often it's a sign they've been over pruned a little bit and more sun gets in there. Because I generally think that live oaks are suckering, for a reason, and there's different reasons they do it. But now I think a lot of trees are suckering to shade themselves, to shade that branch that's been cleaned up too much or had all the branches pruned off of it. The base suckers are a different thing. That usually means the grade's been changed, and the live oaks grow a root mat up into grade change, and that's what. And those aren't really suckers. Those get to be about 5 inches high and don't get any larger. And they can be a real pest for people if people don't like it, but often there's not much to be done about it. Yes, ma'am.
I know you mulch your yards in the spring and fall or something like that, but not in the dead of summer. What's the best time to put the mulch, the compost around?
Well, in my opinion, with the mulch or the compost, it really doesn't matter when you do it.
Okay.
With homeowners, I usually think if you can get somebody to do it, you're in really good shape. And so the timing is just not important.
I just didn't want the heat to kill the microorganisms, or isn't that a factor?
Well, it'd be some of a factor. You got to keep it a little moist, though, if you do that. Yes.
If you were to buy a container tree now, would it be best to wait till November, like you were saying, or just get it in the ground?
No, it's not. Don't plant it now. Wait till November. But that is something I was going to say earlier. So if you buy a tree today, put it someplace like right over by your faucet. So you don't forget to water it. Because you can put it over to the side and you just won't even notice it until it's dead. So water it's really important. And so put it right by your faucet. And this time of year, I've got a little cedar elm that I started from seed. It's now about this size. Whoops. Oh, sorry. About that size, and I didn't get it planted last winter, and it has lost all its leaves twice on me this summer because I just keep forgetting to water it. And I keep watering it and leafing it back out, but it's not already. The root system is not very happy.
I had a question about the root suckers. I'm wondering if the same rule applies. Are we not supposed to mow them down or weed eat them down between February and June?
Yes, that's true. What Rosina is saying is if you got a live oak with a bunch of those root sprouts under them, and we have a no pruning rule on oaks that are susceptible to oak wilt from February 1st to June 1st, that no pruning rule really should be a no wounding rule, and that's really what it is. We just think of pruning, but that means we shouldn't be mowing those and wounding those either. You should not be making any open wounds on your live oaks, your blackjack oaks, your Spanish oaks, or your Shumard oaks from February 1st to June 1st.
Earlier you mentioned on mulching about putting hay down. And years ago I bought a bale of hay for the deer. I feed the deer out there. And I just dropped the whole bale there. And nothing would grow around that bale. And I figured it's because of the herbicides
Pickler
that was put in that hay.
Well,
Would that soak into the ground? Is that enough to kill your tree or affect your tree?
well, no, one bale wouldn't be. Well, I don't know. It sounds suspicious, of course, but to use hay as mulch, though, you'd want to break that up and of course, try to get some hay that's not from some commercial outfit that may have herbicided it. That'd be a pretty important thing to do. You all, we've been talking about tree care, and we've been talking about the root system. We've been talking about building up the soil and watering when appropriate. the most critical things to know about root care, you know, in Central Texas right now. We haven't gotten to pruning. We're not going to get to it, but there's a part of your handout is a really nice 2-page illustration that I'd like for you to take out and look at this illustration. Look at your trees. You can learn a lot about pruning just by looking at this illustration and looking at your trees. You know, we'll have a pruning workshop maybe this winter. You know, we used to think that pruning was just for aesthetics, and when I first started pruning, almost 40 years ago now, it was just aesthetics. We pruned a tree for how it looked when we got through pruning it. We didn't know anything else. It hadn't been studied. Now we know that pruning big dead branches from trees, repairing broken branches is one of the ways to minimize the decay columns in trees and help trees live longer and be stronger in the long run. And so pruning has everything to do with the health and condition of trees. It is not just for beauty or aesthetics, and so it's really important, you know, to learn how to prune properly. And you can learn how to prune properly using rose snips and a new young tree like these. And the illustration that's in your handout. And so learn to prune. It's really fun. It's very satisfying. You'll just love how your trees look when you do it too. And let me see. Let me take a few more, and then we're just going to call it quits.
Ball moss.
Ball moss. You all. It's not a parasite. It's hanging out. You know, there's every folk wisdom about it. You know, kills limbs, kills trees. Doesn't do that. Its roots do not penetrate the bark. If a tree looks more like a ball moss tree than a live oak tree, you know, you need to get somebody up there to get a lot of that ball moss out because your tree will be healthier. The tree competes with the sunlight in the crown for new young buds opening up and keeping a tree healthy. So ball moss is not a non-issue, but it's not a threat to the tree, and in most cases you don't even have to worry about it. But it's important to know about it, and still a lot of people, every week I find people that just swear it's killing their trees. Yes, ma'am.
Any time of year.
Yeah, you can prune any time of year except for the 4 trees that get oak wilt. The old reasons for that we thought that we were pruning, you know, winter or not winter or blah, 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 and all of that just, you know, does not stand up to scientific scrutiny. It does not matter when you prune except for oak wilt disease.
Spanish oak is included?
Yeah.
Live oak, Spanish oak, blackjack oak, and Shumard oak. Those are the 4 trees that get oak wilt in Central Texas. They're all red oaks. The white oaks don't get it. Post oak, Durand oak, Lacey oak, a few others.
Yeah, we have 5-foot elm trees, little ones that we just planted, you know, have growth everywhere. Just leave all that growth on there.
How long have they been in the ground?
A year.
Because our rule of thumb is you don't prune live wood off of trees at least for the first year. Normally we would say until it's established. After they've been in a year, if they're really growing well, it's all right to clean them up a little bit. But it's the leaves that grow the root system. We used to not understand that. So now we have what we call ragged trunk. Leave it alone. You can fix it later. You want those leaves. Those leaves are helping your tree tremendously. In fact, those leaves are often helping the tree more than the crown leaves are.
You were saying if we have you come out to our house, you'll look at our trees, talk about their health, do you also make recommendations?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Me not make recommendations?
Trees to plant.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. You know, often with folks, you know, we talk about, you know, what's going on, but one of the things, again, that I am getting better at, every place I go, with every place I visit, is locating some places that a good shade tree could be planted and getting going with it. And knowing, you know, what tree should be planted in that location. It's not what you want to plant in that location, it's what will do well in that location. You all, I just can't believe y'all's concentration has been so good for almost 2 hours. Y'all been amazing. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.